Hey guys, Pedro here to tell you about the latest from Fractal Universe, The Great Filters, out April 4th on M-Theory Audio. The album has 9 tracks, 50 minutes in length, and this is the band's 4th full-length studio album. They are a French progressive technical death metal band. Now, this album, from a design standpoint, there's not much to say. It's not a record that offers a lot of movement. It's not a record that offers a journey per se as far as the overall vibe of the record is concerned. The journey exists, the album is fluid and dynamic, but a lot more so on a song-by-song basis. When you take a few steps back from the record and you're able to analyze what the overall vibe of the album, what the overall experience of the record was all about, I found this album to be very immersive. You lose track of yourself in it. The more you listen to it, the deeper you get into it. Almost like quicksand, the more you move, the deeper you go. This album has a lot of that. And when I think about how textured, how rich, how layered the sound is on this record, offering this kind of experience allows the album to have a much easier approach as far as the listener is concerned. It's easier to grasp, it's easier to understand. It's a much easier album to digest when you're not looking for certain key elements and you're just letting the music do all the work for you. You're just losing yourself within the record itself. And this album definitely does that. Now, as far as the sound is concerned, this is an album that has great production, and I have to start off by saying that because I feel like you cannot make an album like this without the production behind it that will enhance all of the moving pieces of the band, will enhance the proggier side of the band, the more technical side of the band, the jazzier side of the band, the more straightforward death metal sound of the band. This record has so many different facets, it has so many different faces, it has so many different moments within it, within the songs and within the album itself, that without the proper production behind it to really separate, divide all the different elements, but then also bring them together in a way that it is cohesive, that is coherent, the album doesn't work. You start to lose a little bit of track of what makes the songs unique, of what makes the songs different, what gives them their own very specific fingerprint and DNA, and things become very murky. This record is not murky at all. You can hear all the different sides of even of the same instrument. For example, if you look at the percussions on this album, the percussions on this album offer a lot of different perspectives. There's some jazz elements in the way they sound, in the way they approach the songs, the impact that they have to the atmosphere of the track. There are some straightforward death metal, really heavy drum sounds on this album. Then there are some sounds that are a little bit more complacent, they're a little bit more methodic, matching better with the progginess of the band, or emphasizing some more of the technical sides of the band as well. So it's almost like a living organism, and that's just one piece of the puzzle. But the production does a wonderful job really enhancing these different facets just on the percussion side. Then when you move to the guitar side, you see the same thing, allowing for a lot of layers, allowing for a lot of texture, making the sound very rich, offering different dynamics simultaneously, a more driven, heavier sound with a more technical and proggier experience on top of it. All of this is what makes the fabric of the record, is what makes the fabric of the sound. The production just allows the listener to completely see it in front of you in an experience almost like firsthand in a more direct way, which also plays into the playability and how this album is a lot easier to digest than I was expecting coming in, considering how technical and how proggy this band is. Now, on the jazz front, I talked about the impact on the drums. Obviously, the saxophone is the other element that brings it brings that vibe to the forefront. I like how the saxophone was used on this record. I don't think it was abused at all. I think it was used at the right amount in the right songs to create the right momentums. But it's definitely a piece of the puzzle, an important piece of the puzzle that gets so much clarity, either be some solo sections, some bridges. I just love the fact that it's not just an addition, it's not just a layer to the songs, but rather a much larger piece of the puzzle within the songs, within the construct of those songs, and that allows it to almost be an element of its own. So you can talk about this record from a bass perspective, from a drum perspective, from a guitar perspective, and from a saxophone perspective. Now, once you get down to the vocals, I found the vocals on this record to be as immersive as the sound is. And I think that's an important aspect. because everything on this record, there's a lot of dissonance on this record, and at times there's a little bit of chaos. You see that in the guitar sound, you see that in the guitar approach, and the drums, and the way the songs are constructed, the way the songs interact with one another. There's a little bit of controlled chaos throughout this album, and that's fine, because that adds to that immersive experience that the record offers. The vocals need to be a part of it in order for all the pieces of the puzzle to fit together, and I felt like they were the perfect complement. Either with a harsher, cleaner side, it didn't matter. Both sides of the vocal range work really well in what this album offers musically, so having that matching performance vocally adds to it. I did find the clean vocals being more immersive than the harsh vocals, but there are times within these songs and within the overall record, you do need some jolts, you do need some changes, you do need the air to be let in so that the overall construction of the tracks doesn't collapse on its own. So the vocal performance on this record is very important from that standpoint. All around, for fans of the genre, people who love technical death metal, prog technical death metal, and people who love the band, this record is perhaps their most mature record to date. I feel like they've been close to what they've done on this record, but they hadn't really been there yet. This album is really well crafted, really well put together. They simplified a lot of the processes, even though the songs are not simple at all, but they're presented in such a simple way, in such an immersive way, that, like I said, it's so easy to grasp, it's so easy to listen to. You don't feel burdened by it, you don't feel like the album is overstaying its welcome, and that is always a great ability to have on any record, specifically on a prog technical death metal album that has 9 songs and 50 minutes in length. Now, as far as favorite tracks are concerned, I want to start off with A Great Filter, a very fluid song. Heavier portions on the track really create an impact and allow the more clean progressive moments to also find some room to breathe within the track, and this is where the dynamic ebbs and flows of the song come from. Between those two moments, it's like switching 180, and sometimes they switch very rapidly. It's not like you're progressively moving from one into the other. The track has a great chorus, bigger, heavier, more aggressive, a very different experience from what you get in the verses, more contained, and it's a song that has a lot of outside of the box percussion style elements that add that jazz vibe that are then emphasized by the saxophone sound on this song. The Seed of Singularity, one of my favorite songs on this record. A thicker, heavier guitar riff really dominates this song at times. The verses are infusing the song with a certain atmosphere, very melancholic, very methodic and melancholic, I should say. The chorus more robust, not necessarily changing the methodology in terms of how the song moves, but definitely giving it more size, more emphasis, both musically and vocally. It's a track that integrates really well some more heavy, brutal pieces that really jolt the track. They jolt the track on a musical standpoint, but then with the harsh vocals coming in, they jolt the track vocally as well. Adding the saxophone sound on this song in one of the moments where the song is at its heaviest is such a cool idea, because it creates such a very interesting dichotomy between a very heavy driven sound and a very melodic, almost light crystal-like sound on top of it. So that dynamic to me really helps set this song apart. Last but definitely not least, Dissecting the Real. Super proggy, technical opening. The way the song starts off, it really almost goes on a tangent. It's a super layered, rich song, incredible depth of sound. I love the chaos that this song has. This song really represents the album well, because it's a song that has a lot of chaos built into it. It's a very chaotic track. Because of everything that is happening, everything that's coming at you. You're like stuck in a tornado and there's all of these things flying around you, and it's very hard to tell heads from tails when you listen to this song, but the chaos never really allows you to lose track of where you are, and the ability to create control chaos within a uniform shape is really what allows this song to work so well. I love how the track moves. I love that sense of not knowing what's coming next. Very proggy, very heavy, very technical, all of the above. Fractal Universe with the Great Filters, once again out April 4th on M-Theory Audio. Hit me up in the comment section, let me know your thoughts on the band. and I'll let you know what I think. If you have any questions about the singles, the tracks, whatever, hit me up in the comment section. I'm dying to see what you guys have to say. I'll see you all at the next one. Take care, guys.